Evening on this primary election night, you've still got time to cast your vote if you haven't done so already. We begin with our team coverage tonight. All of our reporters are with the four candidates for governor. We're going to start with Brian Mullehy. He's with Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox, who was leading in the most recent poll before today's election. Brian?
Yeah, we're in Fairview, the Lieutenant Governor's hometown. He's with us now. A couple of hours to go. How do you like your chances tonight?
Well, we feel really good about things. We feel confident. We know our voters are turning out, and there's 2 hours left. So if you haven't voted yet, we need you to vote right now.
The arrows seem to be pointed in one direction, particularly in the last 2 weeks in this race, and they all were pointed at you. Did it hurt you?
Well, of course, it's never fun to have those arrows pointed at you, but that's part of leadership. We have very broad shoulders, and when you're winning, the arrows get pointed at you. We made a commitment to run a positive campaign. We haven't attacked any of our competitors. We're very proud of that, and we look forward to seeing how the voters respond.
Tonight, you're going to have a drive-in movie theater party. You're coming home to Fairview. Your colors are the John Deere colors, yellow and green. How important is it for you to be here tonight?
Well, look, we've never had a candidate for governor from Sanpete County. This is a really big deal for us and for the people that live here. It's a special place, and we're excited to be home with our friends.
Okay, Lieutenant Governor, thanks for joining us. He's looking for a job upgrade. We're going to have more coming up throughout the night. Brian Mullehy in Sanpete County.
Thank you, Brian. Jon Huntsman following close behind Cox in the most recent poll. Christina Flores live with the candidate and former governor who's on the mend from coronavirus. Christina?
Obviously, this year very different for a variety of reasons, including COVID-19. So how are you doing today? You're normally around crowds, around people. This year's very different.
It's very different, Christine, and it's been different from the beginning because who would have guessed at the outset 6 months ago that COVID-19 would be a part of the whole campaign. And so that's lasted a good duration of the campaign. We've had to revise and be a little more creative and thoughtful about connecting with people because you just don't have the traditional events, the town hall meetings, the pressing of the flesh that politics is known for. So you do Zooms and you do whatever you can to make up for it. But I think the debate has suffered somewhat because we haven't been out and as active over the last many months. There's so much to talk about, whether it's revitalizing the economy, which really is the most important priority post-COVID, and issues like mental health, which is a unique challenge in this state, things that are really going to be long-term issues that governors and gubernatorial candidates ought to be talking about.
And just a few more seconds, but despite those limitations, you're doing pretty well in the polls. This has been a neck-and-neck race between you and Spencer Cox, so you must be happy about that.
Well, you do the best you can, you get your message out there, and you know what, whether you're campaigning via Zoom or whether you're out in public, voters ultimately gravitate to ideas and candidates they believe in. They're smart and they get it. And they ultimately cast that vote, and based on our system, we respect the outcome.
All right, very good. Well, thanks for talking to us. And of course, we'll be here with Mr. Huntsman at his campaign headquarters throughout the night. But for now, we're going to just toss it back to you in the studio.
Christina, thanks. I want to head to Michael Locklear now, who's with Greg Hughes tonight. And Hughes came in third in the latest poll leading up to today's election. Michael?
Yeah, we're standing by with Greg Hughes. Talk to us about, voter turnout. We have a tight race. What did you do and what have you said to try to get voters to put that ballot in the box?
It is exciting. They're looking at, we think the returns that are coming in right now show maybe the highest turnout we've seen in a Republican primary in state history. That's a good thing. And so what we've done on our part is we've said, look, we see that Democrats are saying, and my friend Jim DeBacchus, a former Democrat Party chair, now a registered Republican, telling people to change their party affiliation from Democrat to Republican. For why? To vote against Greg Hughes. And so I've used that as a get out the vote with registered Republicans that are Republicans for real, and saying, look, if we're scaring the Democrats that much, we must be a pretty good conservative ticket for your consideration. So we've been having some fun using some of those comments to get out the vote and get people to participate in their party's primary, which we think is happening.
This has been a tough choice for some voters with so many high-profile candidates. What has it been like for you trying to make your case against?
It's been tough. Look, it is a deep pool, and it should be a tough race in a state like Utah with an open seat for governor. But we've really been issue-based. We've got out there. We've been all over this state. We've worked very, very hard to really get this message out, and that's what I think. I think that bears out in the polls. We would have no reason for seeing this race close like we do unless we've been more effective or we've been effective of showing that we are the battle-tested conservative ticket running for governor and hoping to earn Utahns support.
Okay, Greg Hughes, thank you so much. He'll be heading to a private party in Centerville to talk to some of his supporters throughout the evening. We'll be there and bring you updates at 9 and 10. Back to you.
All right, Michael, and our Jeremy Harris joining us live with Thomas Wright, the Thomas Wright campaign. Jeremy?
Go from here and what's your mission?
Utah has so many pressing issues. The first is COVID. It hit us out of nowhere. Nobody saw it coming. Small businesses are on the ropes. A lot of people are unemployed. Over 200,000 people have filed for unemployment. We've got to get Utah's economy back on its feet. I have a detailed plan on my website of how to do that. We also need to make sure that we give some comfort to parents about what's going to happen this coming year on school. It's causing a lot of uncertainty with Utah's children as well as the parents. We've got to address that. And then we need to talk about public education. How do we improve our public education system? We've had a teacher shortage for a long time. Teachers have been underpaid and underappreciated. We've got to get serious about improving our public education system. And then we've got to tackle some of the other challenges. We have a mental health crisis in this state. It's hard to talk about, but we can't be #1 for teenage suicide any longer. We need to talk about our affordable housing crisis. We're 55,000 housing units short. It's really hard for Utah families to find a place to live. Got to talk about that. And I love talking about retooling and reskilling all those unemployed people. We have vocational and trade schools and institutions of higher education that we can use to enhance people's skills, to get them into careers that they probably never thought were possible. So there's so much work to be done for Utah's next governor. I really want to do this job because I'm passionate about all those issues. I have the energy, I have the enthusiasm, I have the experience, and I have the leadership capabilities to get it done.
Okay, Thomas Wright, thank you very much, and we will send it back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Jeremy. So a lot on the line here, as you just heard. You know, a lot of the polls are showing that the race might be really, really close. Less than 2 hours left to vote, to get out there in the polls. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on all the results as they come in. We're going to be using our technology that we use in the weather department a lot of times to forecast all of the weather. So we've got these virtual graphics that we have created throughout the night. Now, this is just an example of the gubernatorial race. So as you can see later on tonight, this is how we will show you the results. As you can see, we've got Thomas Wright, we've got Jon Huntsman, we've got Greg Hughes, and Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox in this example. As the results come in, we will put the percentage vote that they received to give you the results a little bit later tonight. Mark?